ورسوله أما بعد فقد قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها صدق الله العظيم. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وإن في الجسد لمضغة إذا صلحت صلح الجسد كله وإذا فسدت فسد الجسد كله ألا وهي القلب ألا وهي القلب ألا وهي القلب أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Respected ulama kiram, elders, beloved brothers in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has conditioned every human being, made it part of the psychological makeup. No father or mother really has to instill in their child the desire to become successful. Naturally, as maturity comes, as a level of understanding comes, every human being is wired in this way, that he wants to become successful, wants to be safe from failure. You look at the schools, you look at the universities, you look at the businesses, whether it is farming, whether it is agriculture, whether it is commerce, every direction. Person is working 9 to 5, somebody is running a big business, people are doing investments, people are getting up every morning and going through a great deal of effort. Behind all this is one primary goal. I want to become successful. I want to be saved from being looked at as a failure. So this issue is such an important issue that it governs the very basis of the effort of the lives of every person, from cradle till the grave. So obviously, Quran, Hadith, our Shariat is not going to be silent on such a matter. In fact, if you look throughout Quran, there is perhaps no other topic on which this point is driven over and over and over again. What is success and what is failure? Ironically, my respected brothers, this is where the problem lies. Your effort, your endeavor, the life, the abilities which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you are never ever going to be utilized correctly to make you successful if you don't understand what is success. Problem today is most of us don't understand in reality what is success. What is failure? How do you decide somebody was successful, somebody was a failure? Does it mean when he died, if he had a big bank balance, was driving a fancy car, was wearing the latest clothing, was living in a palatial home, is that the definition that person was successful? And if the man was living in a hut and he didn't have a roof over his head, does it mean that he died as a failure? This may sound very crass when you're hearing it like that. But the reality, take the thermometer and look inside. What is our concept in reality of what is success and failure? Who is a successful person? Who is a failure? The man riding a rickshaw doesn't have a car. He has to walk. His clothing is tattered and torn. We may say that has nothing to do with success and failure, but what is the belief in the heart? How do we quantify it? If you look in society today, the whole basis of society is this. The entire classification has become this. We have in our minds classification, top class, VIP, then you get VVIP, then you get middle class, then you get lower class. This classification to a very large extent, whether we like it or not, is based on what? On the person's financial ability. If he's a top earner, top class. If he's in amongst the top 500, then VVIP. Middle class person in society is considered to be who? A middle income earner. Low class, low income earner. Our entire thinking has become this. Like the poet puts it, he says, يَمْشِ الْفَقِيرُ وَكُلُّ شَيْءٍ ضِدُّهُ تَرَاهُ مُبْغِضًا وَلَيْسَ بِمُذْنِبٍ يَرَى الْعَدَاوَةَ وَلَا يَرَى أَسْبَابَهَا حَتَّى أَنَّ الْكِلَابَ إِذَا رَأَتْ ذَا ثَرْوَةٍ خَضَعَتْ لَدَيْهِ وَحَرَّكَتْ أَذْنَابَهَا وَإِذَا رَأَتْ يَوْمًا فَقِيرًا غَابِرًا نَبَحَتْ عَلَيْهِ وَقَشَّرَتْ أَنْيَابَهَا. He says the poor man walks and the whole world is against him. He sees the hatred, he sees the manner in which you scoff at him, you look down upon him, you don't take him seriously, you don't give him a second glance. If he's blocking the road while you're driving, you get upset. You in your heart have no real respect or space for that individual. Why? Because of his poverty. He hasn't committed any crime. من كان يريد العاجلة عجلنا له فيها ما نشاء لمن نريد ثم جعلنا له جهنم يصلاها مذموما مدحورا. The one in whose hands are the key to all wealth, Allah, says when it comes to the distribution of wealth, who is poor, who is rich, it has got nothing to do with you. Not your intelligence, not your business acumen, not your financial prowess, not a biological accident, which family you were born, or what the financial status of your family or society was. When it comes to the distribution of wealth, Quran gives us one principle: Ma nasha liman nurid. Allah says we give to whom we want, to the extent that we want. Yabsutu rizqa liman yasha wa yaqdir. We open the door to wealth to whoever we want. Wa yaqdir, we put in poverty whom we want. This is our imtihan room, our examination room. That distribution is not in your control. So for you to allot respect or recognition on the basis of that, who are you actually challenging? So that poor man, he senses the disdain, the lack of respect. Laysa bimudhnibin. He hasn't committed any crime. Poverty is not a crime, it's Allah's distribution. But such is this drive of batil. Such is this drive of this propaganda machinery of this world. The promise which Shaitan took, لَأُزَيِّنَنَّ لَهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ, that, oh Allah, I am going to beautify this world for them. I'm going to bamboozle them with it. I'm going to blind them. I'm going to make them drunk. They will lose their senses. Dunya, 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 paisa, 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 shohrat, izzat, dolat. Behind these altars, they'll give everything. Their lifeblood will be for that. Shaitan took a qasam and oath. Anbiya came with a different message. Unfortunately, we can see which direction society is going. Like the poet puts it crudely, he says this mentality has even reached the animals. You see a dog, when it comes to a rich man, stretches out its forepaws, wags its tail. And when it comes to the vagabond or the poor man, grinds its teeth, starts barking and chases him. So what's the underlying message? That this mentality or this thinking to allot respect and recognition on the basis of that which is superficial, that which is external, that which is outside, this is in fact the mentality of a dog. Human beings are supposed to possess superior intellect. Our Master sallallahu alayhi wasallam, look at the emphasis that Nabi Pak sallallahu alayhi wasallam placed on this issue. Don't be deceived by what is apparent. There are two fields of effort to attain success. One is the message of Shaitan and society and batil, that success is external, success is superficial. Make effort on dunya, you will become successful. Fail in your effort on dunya, you will be unsuccessful. Message of Anbiya alayhimu salatu wassalam, don't be deceived by the dunya. Don't be deceived by what is external. The medan and field of effort is internal. इंसान की कीमत अंदर के सरमाया से बनते हैं, बाहर के सरमाया से नहीं बनते हैं. The value of this human being, whether he is successful or a failure, in Allah's court, in the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, will be gauged by what is inside, not what is outside. What suit you are wearing, what car you are driving. Like you get the number 1. Add a 0 in front of it, it becomes 10. Add another 0, it becomes 100. Add another 0, it becomes 1,000. And you can carry on adding zeros, it will keep increasing exponentially. Take the 1 out. Take the 1 out and all those zeros become 0. Take Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam out of the equation. And if you don't believe it now, you don't accept it now, by the qasam of my Allah, when the time of your departure from this world comes, then you will see this. That how big that investment was, how advanced the future financial planning was, how many investments you made, how big that bank balance was, what car you were driving, what house you were living in, what type of lavish wedding ceremonies you had, all that. Take the 1 out. The reality will dawn at the time of maut. Everything was 0, useless. Success, وَرِضْوَانٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرٌ وَرِضْوَانٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرٌ ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. In Arabic, the word success, the word for it is fawz. Fawz, falah. These are terms which translate to success. ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. Even if you don't understand Arabic, you can see the emphasis. ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. This is the great success. Did you please Allah? Did you find Allah? And Allah is found not externally, what is internal. I digressed earlier. Our Master sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Jumu'ah, unfortunately time is very limited. But very beautifully 2 incidents occurred, or 2 ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam beautifully illustrate this point to us. Don't fall into the trap of what is external. First hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لَمْ يَتَكَلَّمْ فِي الْمَهْدِ إِلَّا ثَلَاثَةٌ. He said in the cradle, miraculously, Allah gave 3 babies the ability to speak. Famous, Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam. قال إني عبد الله أتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا وبرا بوالدتي ولم يجعلني جبارا شقيا والسلام علي يوم ولدت ويوم أموت ويوم أبعث حيا ذلك عيسى بن مريم. Quran mentions that entire incident to us. So he said this was one baby that spoke in the cradle. Another baby was Sahibu Jurayj. I'm not going into the detail, it's not pertinent to what we're discussing. The third, understand this child's name is not even taken. Its progeny is not even mentioned. So in other words, not necessary for you to even know who this child was. But Allah gave this child the ability to speak from the cradle. Why? What was so important? The incident Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions. The mother is suckling the child. Person passes, marra rajulun ala dabbatin farihatin wa sharatun hasana. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam describes a man of pomp, a man of excess, a king, priceless animal, priceless clothing, surrounded by his entourage, pomp, wealth, success, our idea of it in every direction. If you had a book to tick wealth, affluence, position, status, you'll tick each one. Everything is fine. This mother sees that. She has a suckling child. Mamta, the love of a mother, the desire for success for her child. Allahumma ja'al ibni mithla. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, from the heart, this mother makes a dua. Ya Allah, make my child like this person. Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, فَتَرَكَ الثَّدِيَ. The child left the breast of the mother. وَنَظَرَ إِلَيْهِ. Looked at that man. And then looked towards the heavens. And from the cradle, Allahumma la taj'alni mithla. Oh Allah, please don't accept this dua of my mother. Don't make me like this person. Mother is shocked. And then the child continued breastfeeding. To emphasize this incident, Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sahaba say, he took his index finger, placed it in his mouth and suckled upon his finger to explain the extent. In other words, the minds of Sahaba are focused on this now. Then he says, ثُمَّ مَرُّوا بِجَارِيَةٍ. Then they passed by a woman, young girl. There was a crowd of people behind her. They were stoning her, persecuting her, shouting at her, demeaning her, insulting her, saying to her, Zanaiti wa sarakti. You are a zania, you are a thief. In other words, the lowest dredge of society. And what was she doing? Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil. Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil. Allah is sufficient for me. Allah is the best of planners. Outwardly, if you had a list of damnation, she would tick every box. Demeaned by society, ridiculed by society, persecuted, poor, no wealth, no status, everyone against her. The mother, seeing this from her heart, Allahumma la taj'alni ibni mithlaha. Ya Allah, don't make my son like this person. Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, the child stopped suckling, looked at this girl, then looked at the heavens and said, Allahumma ja'alni mithla. Oh Allah, don't accept this dua also. Make me like this person. Make me like this person. What is the message? Don't be deceived by that which is external. Allah's Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam goes on. Then the mother addressed the suckling baby that, oh my child, oh my son, why did you react like this? The child spoke, oh my mother, that first person, Rajulun Jabbar, he is a zalim and oppressor. Outwardly everything is there, but he has displeased Allah. He will die on kufr. His abode is Jahannam. This is why I made dua that, Ya Allah, don't make me like him. And that young woman, she was innocent. Her trust is in Allah. The whole world may have condemned her. She has found Allah. What is success? Quran tells us what is success. وَمَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولَ فَقَدْ فَازَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا. The one who pleased Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he has succeeded. فَمَنْ زُحْزِحَ عَنِ النَّارِ وَأُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةَ فَقَدْ فَازَ. He who is saved from Jahannam enters into Jannah. He has succeeded. فَأَمَّا مَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ. The one whose scale of deeds are weighty on the day of judgment. فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ. He is in a beautiful, blissful life. Quran is explaining to us. Like I said, no other topic as often as this. Success, success, success. What is failure? وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا هِيَ نَارٌ حَامِيَةٌ. Allah says, whose scale of deeds are light. Scale of deeds are light. He is in loss. His abode is Hawiya, a raging fire. فَأَمَّا مَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ فِي جَهَنَّمَ خَالِدُونَ تَلْفَحُ وُجُوهَهُمُ النَّارُ وَهُمْ فِيهَا كَالِحُونَ. Elsewhere Allah says, قُلْ, tell them, إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Who are the losers? Who are the losers? الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا. Who has failed? Who has not succeeded? Didn't pass his matric exam? Didn't get a degree? Didn't sort out his future financial perspectives? Like I said, 2 hadith. Time is already limited. Sahal bin Sa'd Sa'idi radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. What a beautiful description. What a lesson we can learn from this hadith. Unfortunately, time is very limited to explain it properly. Sahal bin Sa'd Sa'idi radiyallahu ta'ala anhu says, we were sitting with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Marra rajulun min al-fuqara. Poor man passed. In other words, his poverty evident. None of the displays of excess are there. Nothing. Marra rajulun min al-fuqara. Our Master sallallahu alayhi wasallam इस मौका को गनीमत समझकर utilizes this opportunity, turns to Sahaba. ما تقولون في هذا? Oh my Sahaba, what is your opinion about this person? What is your opinion about this person? هذا من الفقراء يا رسول الله, he is a poor man. In other words, the lowest rung of society. هذا حري إن خطب ألا ينكح وإن شفع ألا تشفع. Ya Rasulullah, if this man has to propose for someone's daughter, it's very likely that proposal will be rejected. If he intercedes on behalf of someone, speaks on behalf of someone, la tushaffa, no one is going to even pay attention to him. He's going to, when there's a majlis going on, Ya Rasulullah, if he's at the back, no one is going to call him front. They won't even look at him. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam kept quiet. Then another person passed. This time is mentioned in the riwayat, Sahal bin Sa'idi radiyallahu ta'ala who says, min al-ashraf. Ashraf in our terms, VIP. Pass by. The entourage, call it blue light brigade, whatever you want to say. Allah's Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam turns to Sahaba, ma taquluna fi hada? Oh my Sahaba, what is your opinion about this? Allahu Akbar. Look at the reaction, I'm not literally translating. Hada min al-ashraf. Yeah, this is so and so. This is so and so, like how we'll say. This is so, you don't know who this is? Hada hariyun in khataban. Ya Rasulullah, if this man proposes for someone's daughter, he'll go read 2 rakat shukr namaz. Again, I'm not translating literally. But this has become the basis. Sharif Khandan, Sharif individual. Why? Because big bank balance. Outwardly he looks like a sheep, inside he's a wolf. Outwardly he is shining, inside there's darkness. Our understanding has become what? How big the bank balance is, what the future financial prospects are. That is all we are interested in. Allah's Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, look at the manner. Sahaba say, Ya Rasulullah, if this man proposes, guaranteed acceptance. In shafa and yushafa, if he intercedes, people give weight to what he says. If he's in the back, they'll call him front, they'll give him position, they'll give him status. What does our Master Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam say? Don't be deceived. Who are the losers? قُلْ إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِيهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَلَا ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْخُسْرَانُ الْمُبِينُ لَهُمْ مِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ ظُلَلٌ مِنَ النَّارِ وَمِنْ تَحْتِهِمْ ظُلَلٌ ذَلِكَ يُخَوِّفُ اللَّهُ بِهِ عِبَادَهُ يَا عِبَادِ فَاتَّقُونَ. Tell them, O Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the losers, the failures, the damned ones on the day of judgment are those who put themselves and their families into destruction on that day. أَلَا ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْخُسْرَانُ الْمُبِينُ. Listen, that is the great loss. Above their heads will be fire. Beneath their feet will be fire. إِذِ الْأَغْلَالُ فِي أَعْنَاقِهِمْ وَالسَّلَاسِلِ. Their necks will be covered with fire. سَرَابِيلُهُمْ مِنْ قَطِرَانٍ. Their pants will be out of fire. تغشى وجوههم النار. Their faces will be covered with fire. نارا أحاط بهم سرادقها. Their rooms will be out of fire. That is the loss, not lack of material wealth. That is not the real loss. This is the loss. Superficial, outward, our entire thinking has become this, and we call this advanced culture, this mentality that to sort the streets out and to sort the pavings out is an effort, but to sort your inside out is not an effort. This mentality that make everything on the outside clean, make it shiny, inside is smelling and filthy, no problem. This idea or this mentality please the so-called masters and rulers of the world and forget about Allah who has created you. That to please Allah and to find Allah is not even considered an effort. Insan ke कीमत बार के सरमाया से नहीं बनते हैं. In Allah's court, what is outside, by the qasam of my Allah, will count for nothing. What will make you valuable? This is Quran. This is Quran. Time is limited, I'm taking a few more minutes. This is Quran, but understand what is Quran. Quran introduces itself. La rayba fi. There's no doubt in this. Quran. Uhkimat ayatuhu thumma fussilat min ladun hakimin khabir. Tammat كلمة ربك صدقا وعدلا لا مبدل لكلماته لا تبديل لكلمات الله إنه لقول فصل وما هو بالهزل ومن أصدق من الله قيلا ومن أصدق من الله حديثا. There is nothing more truthful than Quran. Scientists will lie, technology will lie, the archives of knowledge of man will lie. What Allah says is haqq. And they say baat mein wazan paida karne ke liye log qasam lete hai. To create weight, emphasis in what you are saying, people take an oath. In other words, if this is something people doubt, or the whole world is going in some other direction, to make them understand, sometimes you'll take an oath. Allah Ta'ala doesn't need to take any qasam. But Allah Ta'ala, out of His mercy, we find in Quran, a lot of places, Allah takes qasam. Sometimes, and more qasams, greater weight in the speech. This is logical, you can understand that. Sometimes with one qasam, if a person doesn't understand something, a person takes 2 qasams or 3 qasams. Some places in the Quran, Allah takes 1 qasam, wal asr. Some places 2 qasams together, wad duha, wal layli idha saja. Sometimes, Allah Ta'ala in one place will take 3 qasams. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا تَجَلَّى وَمَا خَلَقَ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنثَى. Sometimes Allah takes, one place Allah takes 4 qasams together. وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الْبُرُوجِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْمَوْعُودِ وَشَاهِدْ وَمَشْهُودِ. One place in the Quran Allah takes 5 qasams in one place. وَالْفَجْرِ وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ وَالشَّفْعِ وَالْوَتْرِ وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَسْرٍ. There is one surah in the Quran where, just taking a few minutes, time has already run out. There is one surah in the Quran where in one place Allah takes 11 qasams. 11 qasams in one place. وَالشَّمْسِ وَضُحَاهَا وَالْقَمَرِ إِذَا تَلَاهَا وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا جَلَّاهَا وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَاهَا وَالسَّمَاءِ وَمَا بَنَاهَا وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا طَحَاهَا وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا. Each waw is waw qasmiya. Some ulama say 7 qasams and not 11 because they take the waw as conjunctive rather than qasmiya. That's, I'm just explaining for those who understand. But general view, 11 qasams. And qasams of what? The sun, the moon, the day, the night, the sky, the earth. That Allah who stretched the earth out. That Allah who raised the sky. That Allah who created all this. 1 qasam, the next qasam, the next qasam, and the next qasam. After 9 qasams, what does Allah do? وَنَفْسٍ. This is Allah's extreme compassion that, oh my banda, if you still don't understand me, tere jaan ki qasam, I'm taking qasam on your life. وَمَا سَوَّاهَا. And that Allah who created you, 11 qasams. And what is muqsam alayh? What is the message? Samajh lo ya na samajh lo. Whether you understand it or don't understand it. Qad again emphasis. After 11 qasams, no need to take any more emphasis. But still. Qad aflaha man zakkaha wa qad khaba man dassaha. He has succeeded who has purified his nafs. Made his inside. The one who has recognized Allah from inside. Whose inside is nurani. Whose inside is made first with correct tawheed. Take Allah's ghair out. Then staying away from haram, from filth, of looking at the daughters of others, listening to haram, soiling oneself in haram. The one who has purified his inside, he has succeeded. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. And the one who has filthied and dirtied this inside. Ghairullah, ghairullah, ghairullah. Looking at others, looking at haram, planning haram, soiling himself, no effort on the inside. قَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. 11 qasams, he is the failure. In Allah's court, what is inside will count. The hadith which I mentioned in the beginning, my Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, in the body is a piece of flesh. If this is correct, everything will be correct. In saluhat saluhal jasadu kullu. Correct the yaqeen and conviction of the heart. Purify this heart. And from every limb of the body, salah and khair will come. Wa in fasadat. If there is fasad in this. If inside the correct effort is not being made, what type of environment are you in? What are you looking at? What are you listening to? What are you planning? These are all the roads that are affecting what is inside. In fasad al-jasadu kullu. My Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, if there is fasad in this, there will be fasad from the entire body. As a father, he will be a zalim. As a businessman, he will be a zalim. As a husband, he will be a zalim. Whatever robe he wears, he will be a zalim if inside is not made. Ala wahi al-qalb, ala wahi al-qalb, ala wahi al-qalb. He said, listen, it is the heart, it is the heart, it is the heart. Completing that hadith of Sahal bin Sa'ad Sa'idi, my Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, oh my Sahaba, technically you wrote off the first person. You elevated the second person. But my Sahaba, in Allah's court I am telling you, that first person, that fakir, that poor man, who you said if he proposes no one will accept, no one will give any credibility to his intercession also. Oh my Sahaba, if one of him is put on one pan of the scale and the whole world population becomes like the second one, by the qasam of my Allah, this one man has greater prominence in Allah's eyes than the whole world full of the second person. What is it? What is inside? What is inside? Insan ki qimat andar ke sarmaya se bante hai. Success or failure, the maidan or the field or effort of that is what is inside. Allah give us tawfiq.